Okay, the weatherman says it's supposed to be really nice today and breezy, so that means Tessie has laundry today. Last night we had a lot of rain, so what I do is on rainy days, I collect the rainwater and I put them in my washing machine along with my clothes, and I let the clothes soak for overnight. Soaking your clothes overnight helps get the dirt out without having to work so much. And being that it's winter time, you're going to want to do your wash early in the morning so you have time to get it hung out so it can dry by the time the sun goes down. In the summertime, it doesn't really matter because it will dry in a matter of an hour. But in the wintertime, it takes hours for your wash to dry. So that means at 6 a.m., my clothes are already soaked overnight in rainwater. So I will do this for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I can see the dirt already coming off of the clothing. You probably can't with the camera. So I will do this for 10-15 minutes, wring out the clothes by hand, and put them in a bucket, and where I have another 10 gallons of water waiting to pour back in. And as I showed on an earlier video, I have two different ways I can get my water out of my washer. The one way is I have a siphon tube where you shake the end of the tube and it will come out into a bucket. Or another way is, if I'm not in a hurry, I can take the drain hose, lay it flat against the ground, and gravity will take all this water out. But I really like the siphon tube that I got at Tractor Supply. I'm not sure what they use it for. I know people can do it for gasoline to take it out of a tank, but it works amazing. I just shake it and it comes right out into a 5-gallon bucket. So this works relatively very easy because I don't use the electric for the washing machine. Besides, this washing machine is brand new and it never worked right to begin with. It was on recall, and I didn't know it at the time, so that's why it was discounted really cheap. But I use it this way, and it works out amazing. So this is step 2 of my early morning. And then I will show you a little bit later what I do next. So this is another part of my chores that I have to do today, which I'm sure you've seen in the earlier video. But I wanted to share with you that you can live off-grid anywhere. It doesn't have to be a farm or way out in the Midwest. It can be anywhere where you live right now. I live in a modern home. Modern as 1960s modern, but it's a modern home. But I decided not to use my electricity, and it's really easy to do. Just shut your electricity off. Now, you have to have a lot of willpower to be able to do that, but this is something I enjoy doing anyhow. I like to pretend I'm Laura Ingalls in the modern world. But I wanted to share with you a little bit of a misconception that's out there, and that is that all Amish live on farms and they farm. In fact, a good part of Amish people in this day and age live in a home like mine, amongst other people. Yes, they still live relatively close to each other, but the Amish are buying up homes that are just like yours and mine, and they're turning their electricity, well, they don't have their electricity. What they do is they rip out all the electricity, but in the state of Pennsylvania, the law is you have to keep the meter sitting outside. So they can't throw the meter away, but they take the electricity out. So the Amish are living like me, amongst English people, but they're not using electricity. I live in a little community here, and I'm the only one that lives off-grid. What do my neighbors think? I'm not sure what they think. They've never said anything to me about it, and I've never said anything to them about it. But let's just take a situation. What happens in a ship situation where you need to be the gray man? Can you live without electricity? what I would recommend doing is go in your electrical box and just for the first day, shut off a couple of the fuses. Shut off the fuse to the dryer, or shut off the fuse to your dishwasher. Small things. See what it's like. Get used to it living that way. Then, however long that takes you, shut off another fuse. What would that fuse be? Your hot water, maybe? Now that, for some people, would be a hard thing to give up. Whenever you try to break a habit, you have to do it slowly, and it takes anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to break a habit. But my idea is, see if you can break yourself from it. I don't know, but my philosophy is, I would rather, in my own terms, get rid of something than have somebody do it for me. It's not a situation of whether it will, it's whether it when. We know in this day and age something is going to happen in our lifetime that will make us step back and rethink life, if it hasn't already. I'm not one of them doomsday preppers, but yes, I am a prepper. But to be a prepper, there could be many scenarios for prepping. Is your husband the breadwinner of your home? What happens if he becomes injured or sick? What happens if you lose your job? What happens if there's a bad weather? All these scenarios could happen to anybody at any time, and there won't be any warning. Civil unrest? There's plenty of that going on right now. Some places in Washington, D.C. and other states, do you think that they're going to run to town to get groceries when the roads are blocked with people that are angry? I don't think so. Now, being that it's just my husband and I and an adult son living at home, I don't have small children. But even more important is if you have small children. Do you have food saved up? These are things to think about. Do you want to be caught up in a situation where you have no water? Water is the necessity of life. Think about it. Do you know how to get water if your pump stops working? We live in a world where everything is consumed, and we don't think about it. But did you know the majority of the world lives without electricity? We boast living in the United States that we are above everyone else, but in fact we are actually very, very ignorant of what life is about. So these are things to think about. And as I hang my wash, this was what's on my mind today.